Hey guys, welcome to part 2 of Let's Play Daxter on the PSP. In the last part we entered this hotel, we killed all the bugs, and it was pretty good. Some good times were had. We got this swatter thing, and yeah. So now that we've done the hotel, we have to go and find out what Osmos, that's his name, wants us to do next.
Good work, Daxter. I hear you did a smash-up job.
I did. That's true.
Now I need you to clean up a construction site. These bugs don't even wait for the building to be finished.
Ha ha ha, oh Osmo. And yeah, so, just like in Jak 2, we have Haven City here, and then we have the set levels in certain locations. So the hotel, we actually don't go back to the hotel, but with this construction site we will return to it. Because if you haven't played Jak 2, that's how it works. You would have set levels, and then basically these just serve as a loading screen. So as you can see, it's all just kind of a metallic city. There's a lot of orange, that light's blue, and then we just go through this door once it's loaded. And boom! Construction site! There you go. It's a little odd. I mean, it does kind of distract from the whole like open world that actually exists, but what are you gonna do? I mean, it's a platformer. I don't really mind too much. Yeah, right. So first off, we have this now, where we just gotta go side to side. Oh, I thought I missed that for a second. Yeah, we do this a few times in the game, and a couple more times in the level. But yeah, we now slide. That's like a thing that Daxter does. Because apparently Daxter has amazing upper body strength. It's something you wouldn't guess, considering how weedy and little he is, and his arms are very girly, and he's just not very strong, not very brave, no real skills or talents of note, just overall awful. But no, he does have good upper body strength. I guess he spent these last 2 years working out, maybe? Because that's it, that's something I haven't really brought up. This story is very odd, or the beginning of the story is very odd. You would think this story would be all about Daxter's brave attempts to rescue Jak, because, in case you've forgotten, Jak is captured by the Baron at this point in time. Jak spends 2 years being tortured in between Jak 1 and 2, or at the start of Jak 2, I guess I should say. So, when I first played this game, I was like, okay, cool, we're going to find out what Daxter did to help rescue Jak. And don't worry, without giving spoilers, we do get to that. But you start off the game just like in a bar, just hanging out. Daxter just lying to people about how awesome he is. Oh yeah, he's a liar. We can add that to the list of things that make Daxter just overall quite terrible at being a hero. Right, let's grab this. Boom. Right, so yeah, this is the construction site level. As you can see, there's not as many orbs or golden bug gems. Yeah, I said in the last part, it's like, oh, they're probably not called gems. And then I looked it up, and they're totally called golden bug gems, which isn't that original. I mean, they could have come up with a better name, but they chose not to, and I'm okay with that decision. I'm about to die. That's not good. Give me some health. No? I really hope I don't die. This game's not that difficult. Oh, it gets harder, anyway. Oh god, this isn't good. I didn't expect this. I was just mindlessly playing, hitting things. Because at the moment, as I've already mentioned, the combat is very simple. You just kind of tap square a lot, and Daxter does all the work for you. So if I die, it's very embarrassing. Again, we have these sections proving Daxter's upper body strength. It's odd, because this is kind of a little bit of a staple for certain sort of 3D platformers where you're just climbing on stuff. The other example that comes to mind for me is Rayman 2. But in Rayman 2, it didn't look as silly because he has no arms. Which is a very odd sentence, thinking about it. But he just has no arms. So you kind of buy it a bit more. But never mind. Daxter's about to run into something he enjoys.
That ain't no bug!
And you're too scruffy to be a creeper. So, what's your game? Speak up before these barrels become both ends of the conversation. Who are you?
I could ask you the same, sweet cheeks.
Well, if you must know, I'm Taryn. Let me guess. You're one of those lame exterminators who think they can still clean up the city. I've got news for you. Those new metal bugs are more than you can handle. So take your little toys and go home.
And I've got news for you. You're really hot when you're angry.
We've got bigger problems around here than people know. You want to help? Here's a big girl's way of taking out bugs. You get the creeps. I'll get that crane moving. Think you can handle it?
Okay, baby, I'll play along. Watch me work, sugar.
Hey, watch where you spray that thing, cowboy.
So now we have another weapon, the bug spray. There's something so adorable, or maybe it's just me, but there's something so adorable about Daxter in that cutscene when he's spraying it all around, because you always forget that Daxter is like tiny. Like he's tiny, because he's usually like running off his mouth, so you don't kind of notice. But yeah, Daxter is so small, so when you actually see him doing stuff in a cutscene that isn't just talking wise or talking mad smack, you just kind of like, oh, look at him. His little gear, thinks he's people. Oh, bless him. Oh yeah, so with this we now got a new type of enemy. These sort of metal bugs. I mean, that's every sort of enemy, really, so that's a bad description. But these pop out of the ground.
Grab the crane. I'll pick you up.
Yeah, those creatures come from the ground. So you don't need to use the bug spray. Actually, before I talk about that, but it's quite funny, if you do this, it automatically goes up. I don't know if they purposely did the AI like this, because what you're meant to do is grab on the bottom, but for some reason, it goes up. It's a little odd. So if you're someone playing this for the first time and you don't notice this bottom part here, you might spend a while just trying to jump on top of this thing. Because, you know, it's a platform. You would think logically she would just, you know, lower it just a little bit. Just a little bit.
Drop down and clear the platform. I'll pick you up when the bugs are gone.
Yeah, so now we're clearing out all the bugs with her help, and she's meant to be like up there in a crane, but you can't really see her too well. So now we just got to go on these 3 different platforms using our new bug spray technique, and I'm still going for these precursor orbs. Well, actually, I think in the last episode though, when Daxter said precursor, he didn't actually say precursor, he said like precursor or something like that, which makes me think I might be saying it wrong. Which, you know, couldn't possibly be true. That's just an outrageous statement. But I can't remember if in the other games they must have said precursor before, and I'm sure they say precursors. I don't know, maybe I'm just overthinking it. Maybe he didn't say that too. Oh, bloody things. Yeah, so with these you can just hit them normally, but it's just so much quicker to use the bug spray.
Vaguely impressive. One more to go.
It's not vaguely impressive. I thought I did a good job. I don't know why she's got to be like that. Yeah, so she's a new character who is introduced in this level, but we don't really see until a little bit afterwards, so I mean, you know, can't wait for that. And it's good to see that Daxter is still a wise talking sort of guy. I'll be honest, I never disliked Daxter. Why am I dying? Why? Wow. Okay. Oh, I've got to do that again. Oh, bloody hell. Okay, I can burn through this quick, I think. Oh, that's embarrassing. You know what happened there, right? Like that wasn't my fault. Of course I'm not going to accept responsibility for that. Why would I? Yeah, that wasn't my fault. That was... I landed in those purple bugs. You can see why those, You can see why those purple bugs can get annoying, because they just do so much damage to you. Or, they do the same amount of damage as anything else, but there's like 8 or so of them. Right. Oh, what a move! I didn't think I was going to make that at all! I'm actually kind of amazed I did. Yeah, if you land in the middle of those purple bugs, they just take off all your health, apparently. But I've never had that happen to me before.
You're in position,
so very embarrassing.
Fuzzball. Drop down and clear the platform. I'll pick you up when the bugs are gone.
Cool. But in terms of dying, the way it works is that you've got infinite lives, or you've got no lives, I guess you should say. So you don't have to worry about that. And then the checkpoints are pretty generous overall. Never too harsh, I would say. I mean, you're going to have to replay sections if you die, but...
One more to go.
But they usually put checkpoints at the beginning of difficult parts. So if a certain part's going to be hard, then they usually are pretty good about throwing a checkpoint just before it. So if I die in the future, it may seem like I'm just spawning exactly where I started, but it's just because the checkpoints are pretty generous. Right, not this time. I've got a strategy. It's just like tap square a lot. then a little bit of circle. That's my strategy. It's working pretty well, apart from that one time it didn't.
You rodents are full of surprises. If you can make your way back, meet me at the bar.
Don't know why she has to say rodent. Seems like an offensive term. I mean, it's lucky there's not many Otzels in this world, because otherwise they would rally and form like a group to stop terms such as the R word, like rodent. I don't know, I think I'm trying to do some satire, but I'm not very good at it. Oh well, never mind. What was I saying? Oh, I can't remember. Anyway, yeah, this level, when I first started it, I was a bit like, oh, a construction site level, how interesting and original to have one of these in your platformer. But now I kind of like it. It's one of those where, with a lot of platformers, you can have standard locales or standard locations, but you just got to put in the effort to make it a little bit different, to have a little bit of style. Like, that's all you kind of got to do, and I'm okay with it. And just kind of like, look at this place. They put so much effort into actually building it up as a full construction site. It's actually really impressive. This is something that Jack 2 and well, mostly Jack 2. No, Jack 3 did it as well. Actually, no, Jack 3 focused more on just big open areas, but Jack 2 had more linear levels. Like, actually the levels of Jack 2 are the most linear in any game, I would say, because they are separate sections that you go to and then you work your way through. Why? There we go. That was weird, my TV just went off for a second. Interesting. But yeah, so Jack 2 had these like linear levels, but they put a lot of effort in the environments around it, so there would be a lot of stuff that you just couldn't go to, but it was still built up. And Daxter actually does that very well too, especially considering it's a PSP game where the environments are very well built up. So even though we can't like go over there, well, we can go to where that line is, we will do that in a second, there is still just stuff everywhere, which I think is like a really nice way of doing it. A nice way of saying, hey, these levels are linear, but you don't feel like you're just going from A to B. You do feel like you're exploring an area, even though you're completely not. It is linear. So I like that, because I've got no problem with linear games. I think they're fine. Like, as long as it's good. I don't quite understand why people love open world games as much as they do. I think they're kind of a bit dull. It's a bit like, oh, here you go, here's a big, large area to explore. We're not going to put anything interesting in it, really, so just try and make your own fun. It's like, it's a video game. You're meant to make the fun for me. But never mind. So yeah, so Daxter is kind of like a very traditional platformer. And this is, you know, in case you don't know, I did review this game already, which is the reason why I'm LPing it, because I reviewed it and thought it was really good. And it's actually like one of the best PSP games I've played. I would definitely say it's up there. So that's why I'm doing it in the end. Stop it. There we go, that's all the bug gems. That one wasn't too difficult. I don't think the first level was too difficult for bug gems either. It's just, I think there was a secret area that I missed, because I did miss quite a few precursor orbs. So I think that's what it was. So this level, it's not too bad. There's only 25, it's kind of hard to miss. Right, so now with this section, you gotta like actually avoid these. Not like that. You don't do it like that. That's not how it's done. Don't do it like that. That's my top tip for the day. Oh yeah, I didn't finish my point about dying. God, I always interrupt myself. It's something that I've noticed, and I'm sure you guys watching have noticed. I always interrupt myself. One more point about dying. When you die, you keep all your precursor orbs, but all the enemies respawn, so you have to kill the enemies again. Which I don't really dislike. I think that's completely fine. With a game like Yoshi's Island, I think that's a big flaw of that game, that you have to get all the collectibles. But with this, you don't have to get the precursor orbs, so once you found it, you found it, and all you have to do is beat the enemies again. That's about it. It's not that bad at all, and the checkpoints are quite generous. And because the levels are overall quite linear as well. I don't want to start moaning about Yoshi's Island in this LP, but yeah, that's just the problem I have with that game. And it's a problem that this game doesn't really have. And it's a problem that I haven't really found in any other platform, really, that when you die, you just lose all your collectibles, so you have to explore the whole level again. I don't know. Right, so with this part, it's like... Oh, there's a thing over there. I should go grab it. I actually almost have all the precursor orbs. Awesome! I might actually get 100% in this level! That's surprising. When I played this level before, I didn't. Like I didn't at all. Got nowhere close. It's very embarrassing. If I can get oh, bloody hell. If I can get 100% in one level, I'll be happy. That's all I need. Because I looked it up. Should have already known this, but I looked it up. There are unlockables for the precursor orbs. So there's an unlockable that I won't talk about until we get to it, that if you collect 100, 200, 300, 400 and 500, there's an unlockable you can get. But then also, if we go to secrets and extras, there's these unlockables, which again I won't spoil what they are, and I would have to actually... What am I doing? No, I don't want to type in a cheat, don't do that. Yeah, I would have to get 100% completely to... Oh, I didn't want to do any of that. I would have to get 100% completion to get all of that, so I don't know if I will actually do it, because I'll have to replay quite a few levels, and that just won't do. Yeah, so the big thing to note about these sliding parts is that you can go up. It's something that you don't really think about, and in a lot of games you just can't go up on parts like this, but in this one you can. So certain obstacles you have to do it, so be careful with that.
Calling Daxter. Come in, Daxter. Return to the Critter Ritter shop immediately.
Will do. But I actually won't do that at all. Come on, can I grab this? Yes, nice. Yeah, it's not actually an emergency, so we're going to do it in the next episode, because really just walking into that light triggers a cutscene and then the next level. So next time let's play Daxter, we're going to talk to Osmos and see what the big emergency is, even though it's not. Spoilers. So I've been HonestStorm23, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and I will see you next time.